Hello, welcome to another edition of Chris Speaks. I got my professional microphone set up. I'm sorry the lighting's terrible, but you'll just have to deal with me. So, something really important, and it's really disturbing that it's just almost non-existent in the American news media, is that the UN has concluded that Israel has committed many war crimes, including intentionally targeting civilians, using starvation as a weapon, and other such war crimes like that. And that's just in Gaza. But they've also been charged with torturing and basically raping and sodomizing people that Israel's held in their prisons. These are people that were taken for no reason, that have been charged with no crime, and they're saying they were using sexual torture, sexual abuse, and gender abuse, and some of this stuff having to do with the male people, where they're sodomizing them with hot metal up their ass, and usually it kills them. They're torturing and killing these people in what really amounts to concentration camps. These are really, like, it's not allegations anymore. They're saying, yes, we've concluded that these crimes have happened. And don't get this thing of, oh, well, they don't say anything about Hamas. They say nothing but Hamas committing war crimes. Everybody knows that. What's being covered up by the United States and the media that the United States government apparently now owns. I mean, you can't even trust CNN anymore. You have to go to either foreign things or some kind of independent media. And this is not just me passing it on. I just watched the video of the UN giving their report, and they're saying that these terrible things are being committed. And they also said how they've also cited in the West Bank where they have stated not just that the settlers are doing this violence. They said that they're doing this violence while the IDF, which is their military, just stands by and just watches it, if not cheers it on. They are complicit in this. And the thing where there's also the crimes, those people, the settlers, they've been charged with also doing these illegal checkpoints where to see if it's aid going to Gaza, and then they pull the truck over and they pull it out of its contents and destroy it. And with IDF soldiers and police sitting there just watching it, sometimes laughing. So they've committed these crimes, and you've got to realize, this is like the most important thing that's happened in like recent history. And the U.S. is, obviously it must be our government that's saying that. This is what they usually do. What they're probably doing is they say that the White House will probably revoke their press passes if they cover the story. This is actually happening, and it's nowhere. It's just nowhere on the American news. This is what is happening. Our government is covering up war crimes that our allies, the United States government's allies, have committed, and the news is covering it up for them. They're covering it up for them. They're not saying what Israel's doing. They're not showing us. Dude, I have watched videos and I've seen photos of the dead babies, fucking little kids with their heads blown off. We're talking about parents carrying their headless kids. I saw video of a man running to the hospital holding his little child who couldn't have been more than 5 years old. 5 years old. with the fucking hole in his head and his brains are seeping out of it. I've seen little children screaming where they're being brought in the hospital because their arms and legs have blown off. I saw one of the most heartbreaking things was there's this photograph and there's this little boy. He's got his blanket and his pillow and he's laying between his mother and father's graves because they've been killed by Israel. Oh, and another thing is they're guilty of, which is a war crime, is forcible transfer. That means now the UN is saying for sure and letting everyone know that they are, and they've been doing this since the beginning, is that they're pushing the people off their land and taking it and giving it over to settlers and Israelis. These are serious crimes, and our government is responsible. Our government has taken part in this. They are sending the weapons over there to blow them up, and they are covering everything up for them. This is, you know who's also guilty of war crimes? The United States government. They are guilty of war crimes, and there should be a UN report on that. And there should be some kind of, there literally should be charges on the news media. They are not covering it, and they're doing it on purpose because they want to do this thing of, oh, Israel's the victim so they can blow people up. Well, guess what? The UN said no. Just because one party does something against the laws of war, it does not permit the other person to then go commit war crimes. This is serious. This is something that is going on. My God, man, it's like I'm seeing the freaking World War II happen all over again, but this time we're part of the Axis powers instead of the Allies. This is bullshit. This is a bunch of crap. They are lying to us. They are lying to us because if they don't lie to us, everybody in America is gonna go to the streets and protest, and they won't stop until our government no longer funds Israel's terrorism. How can you say that Hamas is committing terror, which they are, when it's on a way lower scale, but then when Israel completely demolishes the Gaza Strip and does all these war crimes, and then, oh, well, it's not terrorism then. No, it's even more terrorism. The fact that Israel is hold on a second, brain's coming. The fact that, sorry, I should have notes and stuff. This is kind of on the fly. So, okay, well, I'll go on to the next thing because I totally lost my train of thought. The point is that, that's what it is. Because they are the occupying force, they bear the responsibility in making sure the laws of the international law, here it is, international humanitarian law. I've read it and I haven't gone through it thoroughly, but there's at least 5, 10, 15, 20 humanitarian laws that they've broken. This is not just because they say, you saying it, it's here, Geneva Convention. And but that's not all of international law. There's a bunch more to it, and how much you want to bet the more international law I look into, I'll find more violations. Why is this happening? Why is the government covering it up? Well, they're covering it up because they know they're doing wrong. They know that if people knew what was going on, they would no longer support sending weapons to Israel to murder people. This is the thing. The news is also not telling you everything. They're not showing you everything because they don't want you to know. Because if everybody knew what was going on, I'm sorry, if you see what's going on and you don't see anything wrong with it, that shows your lack of moral character. This is horrible, and the sad thing is, the occupation doesn't go back to 1979 or whatever. It goes back to and it doesn't even go back to, it goes back further than 1947. It goes back to the 30s. It goes back to the Zionist idea and it was the British that enabled them to do it. The British actually invited them to go there and start a homeland for the Jews, and nobody gave a shit if the Palestinians had any rights. And they said, come there, and it's yours. And basically, the Zionists, from the beginning, their plan was to go there and forcibly remove every Palestinian from Palestine. And they didn't, at first what they were going for is not what Israel is now. They wanted all of Jordan, which was Transjordan at the time, and Israel. And then now Palestine, which has now become Israel. And if you look at the patches on the shoulders of the soldiers, it says, they translated it, because it's obviously in Hebrew, it says, it basically says, Israel's promised land, and it has everything from the sea all the way over. This is what their promised land is. This is what they think they deserve. Is not just what they have now, but all of Jordan, all of Lebanon, Syria. They want it all. That has been their goal the whole time. And we're not saying this is Zionist ideology, and it's not all Zionist ideology, because there was it might be now, but when Zionism first came out, there were different ideas. There were the people that had made sense were like, okay, we go there and we share it with the people that are there, and we have a country with them. But the extremists the Irgun were part of them. They were the actual soldiers. They were the people. They were the terrorists, basically, that went out and terrorized Palestinians. And you can look this up. Look up the bombing of King David Hotel. So the King David Hotel was the headquarters of the British under the British Mandate, and because they were cutting down on the Jewish migration, because it was starting to cause a lot of problems between them. They attacked the King David Hotel, which was the headquarters of the British who were over Palestine at the time. So they drove them out, and then they took over. And then there was the partition. Okay, I can't go through the whole history, but it's been ever since then that this has been going on. And I'm sorry, this is not a war against Hamas. This is a war against the Palestinian people. We're seeing something that is the most evil thing that's ever happened since fucking Nazi Germany. And it's sad because it's people that, it's a certain group of Jewish people that are doing this. It's not all Jews. Actually, a lot of Jews are against it. And I have done a little bit of research, not thorough into it, but it does go against Jewish law. It's not only wrong by international law to steal land from somebody, it's wrong from Jewish law. And instead, and I've seen people, the pro-Israel crowd, bitch out the Hasidic Jews in New York who are saying, look, this is genocide and we don't support him. And there's oh, you're anti-Semitic, or you're a self-hating Jew. You're not a real Jew. Okay, so the Trumpers with the Israel flag spewing profanities are the real Jews, and they're the one. You fuck off. I mean, this is just ridiculous. If you can't see wrong and see that it's wrong, then you're lost already. I'm just pissed off that it's I swear to God, one day I woke up in 2024, the United States of America, and I woke up in, Oceania, the Orwell novel 1984, where they're lying to everyone and everything's a half-truth and in double-speak. This is what's going on. They are lying to us to keep, the United States government is lying to us to keep us supporting them, sending bombs to Israel, and then when they do that, then American politicians go over there and sign a bomb and say finish them all. Nikki Haley, I think that's her name. You're disgusting. You shouldn't be in. You should not be in Congress or whatever you're in. You should be in prison. The Israeli government should be in prison. Yes, Hamas should be in prison too. But this is getting out of hand, and I believe in you, Americans. I believe in America. I believe you're smart enough to look at something that's going on is wrong and see it's wrong. And the thing is I don't think you're seeing what you need to see to realize it's wrong. And if your religion makes you think that murdering people, that people who are stealing someone's land and murdering them to do so and starving to death to do so is right, you need to change your religion, because your religion is wrong. I'm not being anti-Semitic. I'm not talking about Jewish people. I mean, maybe them too, but I'm talking about Christians. Do you think, dude, this is Jesus Christ's people. The Palestinian people are the people of Jesus Christ. You think you're a Christian and you're supporting the slaughter of the Hebrews, the Palestinian people? Psh, there's no words for you. Just nobody needs you. Just twiddle your thumbs and keep your mouth shut. Okay, so this has been another Chris Speaks, and it's been a long one, and it's going to take forever for me to upload this at this quality, which I don't know if it matters, and it's bad enough. I'll try to do something with the lighting next time. I just have limited space and limited places to put lights. So, and yeah, this has been another Chris Speaks, and I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of hate for this one, but goddamn, why is it so hard to stand up and do the right thing? It's so goddamn hard to stand up to do the right thing, because they'll tell you you're evil because you love people and you don't want to see children blown up. This needs to stop.